You know that feeling when you once had that initial chemistry with your partner where you just couldn't wait to see each other? And now it feels like the flame's gone cold. And you are starting to feel really anxious, so you're doing everything you can to try to spice things up. Planning cute dates, planning good surprises, being extra thoughtful, and wanting to do everything you can to try to save the relationship. But nothing seems to break the silence. And maybe he's staring at his phone way longer and way more often than looking at you and spending quality time with you. In all honesty, you're starting to panic. Is he bored? Is he losing interest? Is he talking to another girl? And you keep asking yourself, why do I feel so invisible? And here's the painful truth. When you're the one putting all of this energy in rejuvenating and trying to save the relationship, it's actually only draining you. But what if I told you that he is not the problem? What if I told you that the solution to your relationship isn't about trying to fix him, but it's actually learning how you can be more selfish? Hi, my name is Jasmine, and on this channel, we talk all about being the woman of your dreams and building a life that you absolutely love. If you feel like you're stuck in a cycle in your relationship where you feel like you're constantly trying to prove, trying to impress, and trying to please, but wondering where the passion went, this video is exactly made for you. We're about to flip the script on what it really takes to build a powerful and successful relationship. And no, it's not about doing more for him because we are going to end that completely. It's about doing more for yourself. So here are 6 selfish decisions that you need to make in order to be a better partner. And stick to the end because the last decision that I'm going to share is going to sound really counterintuitive, but it's the most powerful one of all. Here are all the video chapters, and you can also find the same timestamps below in the description. If you are ready to go beyond just watching these videos and you actually want to transform and apply everything I'm teaching in this video, you are in luck because I make worksheets for every single one of my videos. In these worksheets, you are going to find in-depth journaling prompts as well as practical exercises to help you release your limiting beliefs about yourself and the world, and on top of that, help you build an action plan so you can start implementing these tips immediately. If you would like access, the sign-up link is down in the description below. Let's dive in. The first selfish decision that you need to make is you need to have financial independence. Let me get one thing straight. If you don't hold your own financially, you do not hold your own when you're in a relationship. Let me explain why. Think of it like this. You can't walk into a relationship like you are borrowing someone's car. You want the pink slip. You want to own yourself. Because the moment that you are financially dependent on your partner is going to have a stake and a say on every decision that you make in your life. And it means that you no longer feel like a romantic partner with them, but instead, you're going to feel like you're an employee in his corporation with no benefits. And every day, you're going to feel like you're walking on eggshells, trying not to get fired. Financial independence is the difference between choosing to be with someone and needing to be with someone. The difference here is that if you choose to be someone, you are using your own free will to choose that person to be in your life. That is a very powerful dynamic. You respect and honor each other, and it goes both ways. That's when you're not auditioning to be someone's dependent, you're showing up as that main character in your own life. And trust me, this financial independence is so sexy because how you are essentially portraying yourself is you are saying with quiet confidence that I got myself covered. I can handle myself, and whatever you give me is extra. When you can handle your own bills, your own place, your own peace of mind, that's when anything that he offers is just gravy. He's not the whole meatloaf. You are. He's just the nice dish on the side. Here is where things get spicy. When you have financial independence, it actually changes the way a man sees you. When you are dependent on him, he may see you as a responsibility. When you are independent, you are seen as a partner. Someone who brings value, someone who has options, someone who genuinely chooses him, not because he needs him for survival, but she chooses him out of love. Let me paint you a picture. Pretend you're at dinner and he says something a little dismissive and, quite frankly, a little over the line and pretty disrespectful. If you are financially dependent, you are probably going to swallow your pride, keep eating your food, and pretend like nothing happened. But if you've got your own money, if you are financially independent, what you're going to do is you're probably going to lay your fork down gently, stand up, and order an Uber to go home. You don't tolerate this kind of treatment. That's the power of options, and that's the power of independence. Now, just to be clear, I'm not telling you to earn as much as your partner or even more. Also, it doesn't mean to be completely hyper independent and not let anyone do anything for you. What financial independence really means is that I can handle myself. I can fund my own life, but I'm choosing right now not to. And when you have that choice, you have an even playing field. And if you're not there yet, say you are a mother of 2 children, and of course you're going to be dependent on your husband. I totally get that. So what are some ways that you can still provide value to the world where you can have your own disposable income? Now you know what you are building towards. Is there a passion, dream, or thing that you've always wanted to pursue, but never really had the chance to? Now is the time to start thinking about what kind of impact that you would like to make in the world. So here's the tea. When you give up your independence, your relationship will lose its spark. You end up becoming less interesting to him. Less mystery, less challenging, less you. But when you've got your own life, when you got your own rhythm, and you have a sense of purpose and passion, that is so incredibly magnetic. And that's the type of energy that he wants to lean into and get to know you more. So at the end of the day, financial independence is not about impressing him, but it's really about saving your own butt. And the wild part is, the more you have ownership over your own life, the more you have ownership over your peace, then you become more irresistible. The second selfish decision that you need to make is to build an active lifestyle, aka you need to hit the gym. Let's be honest, we all know that working out is good for us, and we should probably do it more often. But this isn't about what you already know. It's about what you need to remember to have a successful relationship. Having a very consistent workout routine is what can improve your physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. And no, I am not telling you to work out and look hot so that you can impress your partner, but I'm telling you that working out and having a consistent routine shows that you are the type of person that follows through. And you're doing this for yourself to prove to yourself that you're someone who can commit to their goals. That you value your body, your well-being, and your life. You value yourself so much that you are willing to take care of it. Because when you're active, when you're dancing, you're working out, you're going to the gym, you're running, when you're doing all of these things, you naturally feel stronger, more confident, you naturally feel more clarity around your life. Also, when you know that you work hard to eat clean, work out, when you are actively putting effort into your well-being, you naturally have this aura that you know that you're good looking, you know that you're attractive, and that emits as confidence. And also because you're able to handle your stress better, you're less reliant on your partner to help you fix your bad days. And instead, you're able to rejuvenate and you're able to get out of your funk more quickly. I didn't want to admit this either, but why do women stop taking care of their mental and physical well-being after they're in a relationship? Think about it. When you are in a relationship, how often do you go out? How often do you dress up? How often do you actually put the effort to feel confident in who you are? Well, you did that when you were single, right? When you were single, you probably loved wearing the boldest lipstick, you probably wore amazing clothes, and you loved putting care and attention in the way that you look. But how did all of that fall apart after you entered into a relationship? We as women have been so conditioned to believe that when we finally get that guy, we don't need to take care of ourselves anymore. We're finally loved unconditionally and we can just let ourselves go. But we've never been taught or conditioned that the growing continues to happen even after the relationship. Your body isn't something that you need to maintain in order to keep a guy attracted, but it's really about you. It's about how you prioritize your own well-being so that you can live a longer life, so that you have the capacity to be able to do meaningful things that matter to you. And a lot of guys say, I love you just the way that you are. And of course, those words feel good. But women get really, really comfortable with that it means that I don't need to work out anymore. I don't need to dress pretty anymore. So when he says, I love you just the way that you are, you don't need to work out, you don't need to get that job, I love you just as you are. While that is great, but that love should never be the reason why you abandon the habits that make you feel powerful. Love is not a reason to let yourself go. It's the reason to keep showing up as your best self. And you going to the gym every day, you working towards your fitness goals and living an active lifestyle, eating clean, all of these things also motivate him to live his best and most active life as well. When you show up consistently for yourself, he either matches that energy or he falls behind. And men, when they fall behind, they love a challenge and they love staying on top. So when he sees you working out, he's also going to feel inclined to start taking care of himself too. If you've been out of habit for a while or you've never been an active person, that is totally normal and totally okay. Find small ways to start implementing a more active lifestyle, going on walks, going on runs, going to the gym, joining your first Pilates class. These are all small steps that you can start to take in order to live this active life, and do it for yourself. The third selfish decision that you need to make is to have your own support network or female tribe. This is a group of badass women who inspire you to be your best self and will support you and have your back no matter what. This is a pretty selfish decision in the best possible way, because when you have a really amazing network full of women that want you to win, you become a powerful woman. You become someone who is magnetic, and you end up being someone who attracts and has whatever she sets her mind to. Here's why. Having a group of women that want you to win is a statement. It's a clear message saying that you are independent, that you have a life outside of this relationship, that you don't need a partner to complete and fulfill your life. You are already whole, and your tribe is proof of that. So stop with the, I don't have time for friends because I'm in a relationship now routine. If you keep canceling girl time just to bend over backwards and try to please your man, that screams needy, and your man can feel that. And trust me, men are dumb, but they're not that dumb. They can sense the neediness from a mile away. And that neediness ain't cute. So here's what no one is telling you. If you are constantly available and always trying to cater to his needs, then guess what? You end up losing yourself in his world. And the more available you are to him, the less attractive you are. You know why? Because it signals that you need him to complete your happiness in your own life. I'm telling you that you need to find happiness outside of this relationship, and it starts with your female tribe. So let me paint you a scene. Say you have a girls' night planned on Saturday night. You're so looking forward to it, but your partner hits you up and says, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" And of course, the easy answer for you is to lay in bed, watch movies with him, because that's comfortable. You could drop your plans because that's a really easy choice for you, to lay in bed, watch movies with him, or you could stick to your plans and remember that your life does not revolve around him and trying to please him. So you go out there and you have fun. Another thing is that when you have a positive, high vibe tribe of women who genuinely support you, who genuinely love you and want the best for you, it's also incredibly important if you're on the road to becoming a high value woman. It's really about growth. When you surround yourself with more women who honor themselves and respect themselves, if they are someone who has big goals and dreams, who has a vision bigger than themselves, these are people that are ambitious and they expect a bigger life for themselves because they know they deserve more. When you have more women around you like that, you are naturally going to want to work hard for your life too. They inspire you to be better, to dream bigger, to be the best version of yourself. And you want to be in a circle of women who are constantly growing. The more that you start showing up for your female friendships and starting to nurture those relationships, the more you're sending a signal to your partner that your life doesn't just revolve around him. While he does choose you, you don't need him to validate your entire existence. And that is a massive turn on, trust me. So next time if you're deciding between a girls' night out and a night in with your partner, you're not choosing between him and your friends. You are choosing to keep your identity intact so that you can have independence and also being able to live bold and amazing lives independent of each other. This is how you maintain a happy and healthy relationship. And it's that whether you guys are together or apart, you guys are still becoming your best selves. And while we're on the topic of growth, having a female tribe is an opportunity for you to test out your thoughts, ideas, and even your boundaries. Your girlfriends are often the ones who are telling you that you're selling yourself short or disrespecting yourself or enabling things that you should be putting your foot down. They're here to keep you grounded, but at the same time, they're also here to cheer you on so that you start taking bold moves in your life. So don't underestimate them, because your female tribe is integral to your becoming. The fourth selfish decision that you need to make is to start living according to your values and goals. When you are living in your own internal compass, you are essentially not relying on a man to tell you what to do. When you are doing your own thing, when you have your own genuine passion for life and desire for change, you become incredibly sexy. Men are drawn to women who have their own lives, their own passion, their own purpose. Men love women who don't wait around for validation, who don't try to tie themselves in knots just to impress people or just get someone's attention. So imagine this for a second. Imagine you've been working on a personal project or you've been working towards a personal goal for a long time. Whether it's a side hustle, a business, or even going to the gym regularly trying to lose weight. Now imagine you just got into a relationship and your partner wants to spend every second of his life with you. Now, while that's really enticing, because at the start of every relationship, of course, you want to spend as much time with them as possible because they make you happy. But knowing that you are a high-value woman with goals and dreams for herself, she doesn't buy into that. Instead, she keeps going with her routine. You don't cancel your priorities for them. Instead, you continually become committed to your goals. You don't cancel your priorities for them. And yet, you are still staying committed despite being in this new relationship. When you keep your sense of self, when you keep your priorities straight, you become so much more attractive and intriguing. When you've got your own stuff going on, he genuinely finds you energizing. The last thing you want is to become that girl who revolves her entire life around one person. That's not a cute look. It really comes down to this. When you have values and goals that you live by, when you have a vision so big and standards so high for yourself that you are willing to go after it no matter what, that communicates that you don't need validation from anyone else. You are so fixated on being the best version of yourself that when he recognizes that, he is fascinated. He is so magnetized by you, and he wants to be around you more often because you are a source of inspiration to him as well. When he sees you secure in your own life, doing your own thing, he loves that. You're a woman on a mission, and that makes you a more dynamic and powerful partner. Now pause for a sec and really think about this. Self-respect is hot. When you live by your values, when you have goals, you know what your time is worth. You know what you stand for, and if anyone crosses that line, including him, then she knows when to walk away. When you pursue your own goals, when you have things going on in your own life, you also become so much more rich and interesting. And it's that you have things to talk about. You have excitement, pure joy, pure curiosity for your own life. It's the opposite of being clingy and desperate. You are not giving him all of your mental real estate, and that keeps the spark alive. He's actually curious to know what you're up to when you're not spending every day, every second thinking about him. When you have a life outside of this relationship where you're working towards things that matter to you, you choose him. And that is such a powerful thing, because don't we all want to be genuinely chosen by somebody, not out of fear, but out of love. And that is going to make him feel so special. If you're watching this and you're thinking, I don't know what I value, I don't know what my goals are, that's totally okay, because I made a video called 10 Books That Changed My Life. And I highly suggest starting to read as much as you can. Read biographies, read self-development books, and to start accumulating different schools of thought and start to really understand how you can start improving your life, even if you don't know where to start. That video also covers topics ranging from spirituality and mindset and money, relationships, and these books have seriously impacted the way that I show up in my own life and has also completely revolutionized my own confidence. Reading is a fantastic way to get to know your own values and to find out what kind of life you want to build for yourself. The fifth selfish decision that you need to make is to have a goddamn opinion. Setting firm boundaries And having an opinion as a woman is not just an optional thing you need to do as a woman, but it's actually a must. You must set boundaries in your life. If you don't know what you will and won't tolerate in a relationship, you're essentially giving everyone a free pass to treat you however they want. But the reality is, that's never going to make you attractive. I'm sorry, but as women, we've been conditioned to be good girls. We've been conditioned to stay quiet, to stay agreeable. But that power that was taken away for generations, that is not power. That was something that was conditioned by a society that was trying to suppress us of our power. On the flip side, when you start stating clear boundaries and standing up for your opinion, it screams, I value myself, my time, and my energy. And guess what? That is seriously attractive. Let me tell you, when you know what you do and do not tolerate, it will literally change your life. You stop bending over backwards just to please people, especially your partner. Because think about it, if you don't respect yourself, your boundaries, and your own time, how do you expect other people to do that for you? By not accepting disrespect, you are showing people how to treat you. And men will never say it to your face, but when you call a man out for acting out of line, he will actually respect you more for it. Take, for example, my friend Amanda. She used to let her ex bail on dates, not pay for dates, and just straight up did not treat her with respect and would make snide comments all the time. But then she got real about her boundaries. She started saying things like, if you do not respect my time, I'm leaving this relationship. And you know what he did? He ended up stepping up. And even if he didn't change a single thing about his act and he kept going on and being disrespectful, Amanda would have willingly walked away. Boundaries are the blueprint. It's the foundation of a healthy relationship. And if your partner isn't honoring your boundaries, doesn't respect your boundaries, then it's time to start rethinking the relationship. You are not a pushover, period. It's the difference between a woman who accepts last-minute plans trying to avoid conflict versus the high-value woman that says, I already have plans. I respect my own time. See you later. It's the self-respect that radiates as well. Now, here's the part where it may hit home for some of you. You might be thinking, what if setting boundaries makes me mean and demanding? I don't want to scare him off. Let me be clear. You are not being mean. You are being assertive. Do you think someone like Angelina Jolie would put up with terrible treatment? What is she going to do? She knows that she has so much value in her time that she does not put up with people who disrespect her. Having your own opinions and values means that you know what works for you and what doesn't. And not only is that attractive, it's completely necessary in becoming a high-value woman. You're not being a terrible person. You're not shutting people out. You're not being inconvenient. You are just being assertive to make sure that you are given the respect that you deserve. And also, please have an opinion. Don't try to be as agreeable as possible, especially if you're talking about something where you obviously do not agree with your partner's stance. Say something. Show that you're a passionate person. Show that you have a mind of your own. And even if he doesn't necessarily agree with your school of thought, he will actually respect you so much more for having your own brain. Setting boundaries makes you respectable. You stop playing games, you stop dancing around issues, and you start showing up as your most authentic self. Start getting comfortable with being unapologetically clear about the things that you need and the boundaries you have. Because the right partner will respect your boundary and will do everything he can to make sure that you're happy. And the wrong partner, he'll fall off like a bad habit. And that's exactly what you want. And the final selfish decision that you need to make is to find ways to have fun independent to your partner. Your happiness cannot depend on him. And while your partner does make you happy, there's this huge difference between depending on your partner for happiness and choosing your partner to be happy. That even if your partner never existed, you would still find a way to be happy. You would still find a way to have fun. And I get it. Sometimes it's really tempting to have your relationship revolve around your entire life. And when you really love somebody, it can consume your whole body. But trust me, the healthiest relationships out there is when both partners can thrive on their own as well. and they become even more powerful when they're together. When you are your own source of joy, either from your passion projects, your friends, your family, literally anything outside of him, you keep your energy high and you keep your vibe high. You become the woman that walks into a room and lights everybody up because you are already fulfilled. That's charisma. Let's say that you're in a partnership with somebody and this person has no friends, no one that he can rely on. And every time he has a bad day, he always puts all that emotional burden on you. And sometimes it's really heavy when you are the only person responsible for your partner's well-being and happiness. And it puts a lot of pressure. But when you're happy and thriving outside of your relationship, you're not an emotional burden. You're the partner who brings fun, excitement, and joy to the table. Let's do a quick reframe. If you're currently in a relationship where you're putting your own happiness and joy in the back burner because you feel that you need to leave emotional room for your partner, stop right there, because that is the recipe for disaster. When you constantly put your own happiness on hold for the sake of your partner, that is going to feel very heavy. It doesn't make you more lovable. It actually makes you more tired. A relationship is supposed to enhance your life. It's not your whole life. When you prioritize your happiness, you make both people feel lucky to have each other because you've each got your own solid foundation. He doesn't need to be your emotional anchor because you have yourself covered. Now, you might think that taking time for yourself to do things on your own is selfish, or that you're essentially pushing him away. I'm not telling you to be avoidant. That's not my intention at all. But here's the deal. When you start choosing your own happiness, you're showing him that this relationship is an addition to your life, not your entire world. And that is sexy. You're not clinging onto him, you're choosing him. And when you're choosing to be with him, it's a privilege for the both of you. So let's talk action. How do you actually implement this? Maybe it's saying no to some plans so you can do that solo hike, that art class you had planned to go, a girls' night out, or even doing things on your own self-care date. Your time is so valuable, and the way that you spend your time matters. If you want to keep things exciting and fresh in your relationship, it's time to start making room and making space for your own growth. I used to ignore this too. When you're too available, the relationship can feel predictable. Start making time for yourself and your own interests. And that's how you keep the spark alive. It doesn't require him to do anything special, but it's about how you start to have this renewed sense of purpose and enjoyment for your own life. So when you're genuinely happy and fulfilled, he will naturally feel more gravitated to want to spend more time with you, to feel that spark renewed. Because at the end of the day, the reason why the relationship is missing that spark is because you are missing that spark in your own life. And life is a mirror. Our internal reality is a reflection of our external reality. He gets to be a part of your already awesome life. He doesn't have to create it for you. So here you have it. These are 6 selfish decisions that every woman needs to make in her relationship. And I've said this many times throughout the video, but this isn't about being cold and avoidant. It's about finding that spark outside of your relationship. A lot of women tend to lose themselves in the process of love. When you start giving yourself permission to be whole and independent, you actually free your partner to show up better too. Because no one thrives at a chokehold. If you're giving your partner a really hard time about this, he's not going to be able to thrive under the pressure you're giving him. And when we put so much pressure and expectation on our partner to be everything in our life, our passion, our purpose, our happiness, not only is it overwhelming for them, but it's incredibly draining for you too. Now, I don't want you to start pretending that you don't care about your partner, but I want you to start fixating that attention in your own life. How can you improve your life in this moment? How can you make your current life more full, independent of your partner? It's about remembering that your life is yours, and your partner, he's just a beautiful bonus. Your world should feel rich and vibrant, whether he's in your life or not. That's how you become magnetic and attractive. So if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you can like it, because when you like it, the algorithm spreads this video to more faces in the world, and it will also help my channel out so much. And let me know in the comments, which selfish decision have you been neglecting in your relationship? This video was actually inspired by an old video that I made called selfish decisions that you need to make to thrive in your 20s. So if you are interested in continuing this selfish decision series, I would love for you to also leave a comment down below because it will actually really inspire me to keep going with this series. And if you haven't watched that video yet, I would highly recommend that you check it out because there's so many golden nuggets in that video as well. And if you're all about leveling up, being the woman of your dreams, and living a life that you love, I highly recommend subscribing to the channel because I talk a lot about this kind of stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope to see you next week. Bye!